Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья! Мы рады приветствовать вас на международной дискуссии, посвященной конференции, прошедшей 4 декабря.
Hello, dear friends. We are happy to welcome you.
Глобальный кризис.
Welcome to
Эта конференция была организована волонтерами.
the conference that took place was organized by volunteers from 180 countries, and there were simultaneous interpretation to 100 languages, and all this was done by volunteers. The main topics that were raised at this conference had to do with climatic and ecological crises, as well as the crisis of the consumer format of our society. And the main thing, the main point was that there was given a way out of the crisis today, which is a creative society and changing the format from the consumer format to creative society. And it's that world that every person wants to live in. And today we continue our conversation with our dear friends.
Yes, and thank you very much, Anna. And hello, dear viewers. Today, as Anna mentioned, we will continue on covering the topics raised during the conference and also discuss the importance of unification of the whole human potential. And now, please let me introduce our distinguished guests for today. And it is Aizan Bergoeva from Chechnya, who is a teacher of Chechen language and literature, and Dr. Ravan Tamer from Egypt, who is a pharmacist and TV presenter. Welcome, dear guests, and it is our pleasure to have you here with us today. And now I would like to ask our technical support to play a fragment from the conference. Let's watch it together.
4 months have passed since the time of the previous conference, and over this relatively short period, we have seen how much the progression of climate change and environmental degradation has accelerated. It's important not to remain silent, because this survival of all humanity is at stake. It is time for the truth.
We are now in a world where every single day, somewhere in the world, a climate extreme event is going to take place that will break the world record of that particular place.
The European floods this summer, or the Western North America heat wave this summer. Both of those extreme events were due to the jet stream reacting in very unusual ways, in ways that climate models did not predict would happen.
When I'm out in the field, I always hear people say that I never thought it would happen to me, and they're always surprised. Can you imagine how devastated you would be if you lost everything that you owned? If you watched the people around you, the people that you love, struggle and suffer or even die?
We have to understand we're one people on one planet, and it's up to us together to solve these problems.
We cannot leave it to our leaders. The leaders have shown that they are not up to the task. The leaders think of themselves as leaders of their own country. They don't care about the rest of the world.
The problem right now is we've all surrendered a certain amount of our power to centralized authority, and they're trying to use that to take over everything. And they've been using this excuse of anthropogenic global warming in order to try to consolidate their wealth and control. So we've got to just completely abandon and expose that.
The discussion about the climate is narrowed down to the reduction of CO2 and global warming gases. And I think the problem is much broader than that.
There's a widespread belief that climate change is a result of human activity. This is reflected in the 5th and the 6th report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. But these beliefs are wrong.
The world's governments, through the UN, formed the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. Now, you would think that would be studying climate change, but they specified that you study the human causes of climate change. So they ruled out all natural factors. They said, no, we're not going to study whether the sun plays a role. We're not going to study whether volcanoes play a role. We're not going to study whether ocean current shifts play a role. And we really don't understand clouds, so we're not going to count them much. What we're going to study is human CO2 emissions, because that's what we can get a handle on. That's not the way science is supposed to work.
Anthropogenic global warming is a grandiose scientific scam of the 20th century.
Green energy is not green at all. And wind power is not green because wind farms require enormous amounts of concrete and metal to construct, disturb wildlife, harm human health with noise pollution, kill hundreds of thousands of birds each year, pollute our air and water supply. We pay high prices for something that will never meet our needs.
We need to build a humanity that lives like a beehive, and we have to build a society that puts human life first. If we combine our scientific, technological, and intellectual resources, we can solve the problem of climate change.
If we fail, we face the real possibility that if we don't get our act together and start preparing for this cataclysm, we face the very real possibility of extinguishing human life on the Earth. A supervolcano is quite capable of completely taking a species out. And I say, if we come together correctly, if we really put our hearts and our minds to the task of preparing correctly, then we could not only survive what's coming, we could be the first species on this nice little blue marble to thrive through the next cyclical destruction.
Let's follow the Creative Society's survival guide. The 3 easy steps. Learn more, spread information, and unite to build a creative society.
After all, this world is given to all mankind with only one purpose: to live and be healthy, happy, to create and not to destroy.
The Creative Society is a project of everyone. We do not collect any donations or funds that disappear in the deep pockets. Instead, each person acts in their abilities and uses resources they already have. It is your opportunity to be a part of the solution and live out your superhero potential.
Ну что ж, во время конференции мы увидели очень
during the conference we saw a lot of different facts about what kind of state our planet is in today, our society, and what the way out is for all this. A lot of scientists and experts from different countries and different areas got together just so to bring this truth to all the people who don't know this truth that is capable today of uniting people and to bring us to a new level of development and to overcome these difficulties that we're facing today as a result of climatic changes. Dear Aizan, we really wanted to find out what kind of things affected you during this conference. Could you please share your opinion? Hello, thank you.
Я преподаватель чеченского языка, работаю в Грозненской школе номер 100.
I work at a school. In the last 20 years,
летом, когда я находилась в отпуске, мне позвонила представитель общественной организации «АЛЛАТРА» Джуба.
I really liked the goal of this. And when I was offered to participate in the conference Global Crisis, this already affects everyone.
Конечно, сказано, повезло,
Of course, I was very happy that I got the chance to participate and to translate. I'm very proud and very happy about this. When I was watching, there was a lot of information. And of course, I was very surprised. I mean, I knew this, I watched it on TV, but some moments really surprised me. I even cried. You know, we're all people. Even the kings and the poorest people, we're all people. And our life is not that long to be deserving, just so we can survive. Of course, we need to unite. And you know, over the last 21 years, I didn't have any, because all of my colleagues, it was hard. It's hard to talk about, but all these horrible things that I've known and watched, and but at the end of the 20th century, beginning of the 21st century, we didn't think that it would come to war, but that things could be solved by talking. But we were cold and hungry, and all this happened. But now our republic is thriving, and from one year to the next, we're building hospitals and new churches. It's really good here, and I really want to invite from the bottom of my heart, want to invite all of you to come here. The things that I saw at the conference, the volcano, it's very scary. When most people were dying, and there was no, how do I say, discipline. I was watching in Japan, what happened in Japan, and they kind of had more order. And I think the more people know about such events, the more we are prepared, the more we listen to the close ones, the easier it will be for everyone. You know, I'm a lot happier now after finding this organization and knowing that I can at least just a little bit be useful. It's really joyful for me. Of course, checking notebooks and the students, of course, it's a little annoying, but I'm so happy, and thank you so much for finding me. And I'm yours, and I will be happy to see all of you in our now happy republic.
Thank you so much, Aizan, and we are very happy that you are with us. And also, like you said, that, you know, I'm glad to hear that in Chechnya everything is great, that, you know, everything is being rebuilt, and that you said it's like a paradise. And I'm hoping that, you know, the whole world is going to turn into paradise very soon. And, you know, right now we have the chance. We have a chance to turn the whole world into the paradise, because we can unite and build creative society, which will definitely bring this paradise to the whole world. And maybe right now I'm going to ask dear Ravan, maybe you would like to comment or also share your impressions and thoughts about the conference.
Greetings. I want to start that when I watched the conference, I was too surprised about a lot of topics, but let me start with people trafficking. When I heard about this topic for the first time, I was too shocked. I was too surprised because, right now we are in the 21st century and we're speaking about human trafficking. So it was like a shock for me, precisely when I knew all of those people were from the Arab world and from countries, let me say Muslim countries. So really it was like a shock for me, and precisely we have in the Arab world, all media are speaking about a lot of topics like celebrities, what's more trendy about trends, a lot of things like those, and there is no any concern about humans and human trafficking. So let me say that really the title of the conference, Time for Truth, that makes all people around the world, they really know the truth about a lot of things that we really want to know. So when I heard about human trafficking, really it was a shock for me, precisely when it comes from a lot of countries that like Arab countries. So really it was a shock for me, and in the same time I was too happy that really I know the truth inside this conference.
Да, спасибо большое. Действительно, очень много...
Yes, thank you very much. It's really, there was a lot of very important information voiced, as well as shocking information. Even the information that you thought you knew what was going on. I mean, we all know that our world is not perfect. There are wars, and there's a lot going on. There's refugees and immigrants, and we showed eyewitnesses and people who suffered as a result of climatic catastrophes. But what's important is that we don't just hear these stories from somebody else, but the fact is we really show people who share their own example. We really need to sometimes see these examples of eyewitnesses, because sometimes it does seem to us that it's not going to happen to us. The war is not going to come to us, and we don't want to believe in the worst. Of course, it's a really good quality of ours, but we understand that today it's happening, and the worst thing is, and what was said at the conference is, our only enemy is the climate, and regardless of whether we want it or not, it's a process that happens every 12,000 years. The scientists have said this, and knowing all this, we realize to unite today in order to find those answers to those challenges that are now exist. And Aizan, you shared that you participated in interpretation to Chechen language. How important was it for you that this truth that was voiced, that on one hand is hard and it scares people, but on the other hand, it gives us strength and understanding how to continue acting? How important was the understanding of this truth and the ability to convey it to others was giving us the strength to act together? Of course, it was really nice. And I have 7 sisters, and we have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I have grandchildren. And they were really happy to listen to me. And when I told them about this phenomenon, Chechenian people, They unite very quickly. They're very friendly and welcoming and hospitable. At the same time, I don't know any nation that hangs on to life so much. And at the same time, in 2002, we had people who lived with us in the place where we lived. Had a lot of people with us, and 2 years later, and everything was destroyed, but 2 years later they started to build again together. And without waiting for the government, of course the government helped us, but still the Chechens on their own, we did this work ourselves for the most part, and all the neighbors and relatives came to help. And I remember in 2004, I went in the morning and we took all the straw to the attic, and I spread it out so it would not dry out, and I went to work. And we so much hang on to life, and we want to live comfortably without waiting for help from the government. And I'm so happy that the climatic conditions here are not so severe as other places. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but it's even hard for me to believe that I was able to participate in such a conference. I'm just a small person, a teacher of Chechen language, and now people are listening to me. It's very important. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just wanted to add what you said about a little person, that in reality, we have sometimes this understanding that we have to be somebody big and have some kind of resources to change the world. But the reality is that in our time, we can see that how important each person is. There is no little person when it comes to uniting everybody and the choosing the faith for all of us. And really these steps, your participation in this kind of action and to bringing the truth to people, it's thank you so much for your participation. And it is us who are really happy, and it's an honor for us to be around, surrounded by these kind of people who realize what's going on and that it needs to be shared with everyone else. And so everyone today who thinks I'm a little person, there's not much I can do, but it's a lie. It's really not true, because when you start acting, you realize really how much you can do yourself and how you can inspire people around you. And when we act all together, we're one single whole. And it's exactly by being together and united, we can solve any problems and overcome anything. So I just wanted to add that everybody needs to believe in their own power.
Yes, thank you so much, Anna. And it's true what you just said, and it really inspires. And also, maybe I can add, because Aizan was saying that, she's happy that right now, there is not that much, climatic change yet, but, we really don't know when it is going to happen to, any country. For instance, I'm from Slovakia, but living in Czech Republic right now, and we have a very a mild, climate here, and pretty much, everything seems to be okay. But, not long time ago, Czech Republic had a tornado, which was like a first time, and it was like unheard of that tornado would just like come down, because usually the tornado comes, but it just stays up and it's not like very strong. But this time it literally swept through the city and, caused a lot of damage and some deaths and so on. And, it showed me that, we really, Aizan was saying, what is important, that people start to help each other. The same thing was happening in Czech Republic. We were talking to people there and to witnesses, and they were not expecting help from government or so on. Of course, government helped as well, but mainly people, they united and they started to help each other. And that's so important, this unification factor. It's the most important. And maybe right now I'm going to ask Ravan, would you like to add something to this topic, or would you like to comment on something or join somehow?
Yeah, I want to say what's happening to me is going to happen to you in the same time, because there is no I, there is no you. It's only about us, because there is no them, there is only us. I want to say right now in the European countries, I think all the European countries right now are covered by snow. So right now in Egypt, for the first time in history, Alexandria, it's covered by snow, despite Egypt is one of the African countries, but right now we are covered with the snow, and really it's a very rare phenomena to be happen in one of Arab countries, precisely if we speak about countries inside Africa. So what's happened to European countries are gonna happen also to Arab countries or African countries, because we all are related to the same place, and this place absolutely is Earth. And we all live in only one place, and this place is Earth. So right now, global crisis is really affecting everyone, it's really affecting each country, is really affected each continent. So all of us, we have to unite. We have to speak out about all things and all stuff are happening right now, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of anything, because all of us, we have one thing in common, and this thing is humanity. So right now, maybe we could see that humanity, it's not very common, and from a very near time, I heard about an accident. This accident happened here in Egypt. It was about a crime happened in Egypt. There is a guy dressed as Batman, and he killed a guy, and he took his head with his hand, and he walked with his head on streets, and really it was a very strange crime. And really it took from me 3 days without sleeping after I watched this video about a guy. He was drunk and he killed another man, and he took his head and he walked on street with his head, and it happened in the early morning, and a lot of people watched this crime, and there is no entrance from anyone, and really it was like a nightmare for me, and it lasted for about 3 days. Absolutely, the government, it took all considerations about this crime, and right now this criminal is inside the jail, and the government is gonna take all things and all stuff with them. But I'm speaking right now about maybe right now we lose a lot of humanity, and maybe right now we could see that animals like dogs, like cats are behaving with us more than us, and we are humans, but right now we could see humanity in animals more than us, and precisely it happens with a lot of things. I really watch it, and I think all of those, we have to discuss all of those issues. But I want to say in the same time, it's not happening all the time, but there is no only like evil in this world, but there is, yeah, I mean, there is goodness only, not only okay. I think the technical support has to cut this point. And there is goodness and there is evil in this world, but we want to deal with both of them in the same time, and we have to put in considerations that there is not only evil in this world, but there is also goodness in this world. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ravan. Yes, definitely we live in the, crisis of humanity, and maybe also you were talking about the conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth, and that everybody needs to know this truth, because when we unite, then everything can change for the better, right? And what do you think? How can we actually bring this truth to the whole world? Can you share with us some ideas? How can we bring this truth to the whole world?
First and foremost, I think we have to unite. All of us, we have to unite. We have to speak out. We have to break bridges between all countries. We have to share a lot of ideas. We have to say the truth. And in the same time, we have to be up to date with everything is happening in our world. I think it's a very important point we have to discuss. And in the same time, the creative society is one of the greatest things I really have in my entire life, because when you have something that really could make a lot of changes inside the world, could make a lot of changes, and a lot of people could unite with each other. I think it's very too important, and all of this we could find inside this society, inside this great society, inside the creative society.
Спасибо большое, дорогая Раван.
Thank you so much, dear Ravan.
Я думаю, мы все вас поддерживаем.
Of course, we all support you, and that the creative society is really necessary for us today in order to maintain that human that is in each of us. And since we touched on this topic of good and evil, then of course, who, if not us ourselves, chooses between the good and evil? And of course, each one of us is responsible for the conditions that we live in. And as a result of those conditions, it's easier for us to choose one or the other. And today we really understand that there's a crisis of humanity, as you said. But once again, we ourselves are capable of reviving the humanity in our society. And it's really joyful that there is such a project as Creative Society that allows us to remember those values that are inside each of us, and the values that we would like to see as priority in the society that we live in. And of course, number one is the value of human life. Not just wars, but even any violence. And when we were preparing for this, me and Gabika, we thought about the fact that today we have this little female group, and we'd really like to hear from you as mothers and women. We would like to hear your opinion about what the society needs today, or how necessary is it for the society today to be brave, to be strong, and to carry this goodness and the truth and to share it with people. What do you think about this, Aizan? Would like you to share, and also Ravan.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say that to speak the truth, it is very simple, easy, and when you speak truth, you cannot be wrong. And you say all sales and princes, dats and sheikhs, they are all also people. Before these climatic changes. They cannot do anything. They are simple people, simple earth, like you and me, and they of course they have more power and they have everything, but people, women especially, particularly, they're so tiny souls and they feel everything, and they first of all should be patient and kind and like bring to this world kindness so that people near them would feel comfortable and act for benefit of our earth, of society. It's very important. I hear speakers with pleasure, and each time I get some new information, and I think that nevertheless
Thank you so
kindness
much,
will win.
dear Aizan. And Ravan as well, the same question for you. How important is it today to stay strong and firm and bring this kindness and the truth to the whole world?
Yeah, I want to say that right now, one of the greatest things inside the creative society, I want to say that first and foremost, it's concerning on human life precisely, and it's such a great blessing for that. And in the same time, I want to say if there is no human, there is nothing else. So when we speak about human, I think it's two great things and two great stuff. Precisely when I saw a lot of trailers about the conference and I saw the quality of those trailers, I saw it like there is something professional, more than professional, like trailer of movies. I could say it, yeah. So it was too great to see it, and precisely when a lot of people are participating at the same time with each other just for doing it, and it's a non-profit organization, and all of us, we are doing such matters just for doing something great like this, to be united and to show people and to show all worlds that really we could unite, really we could be with each other, and really we could break bridges, so we could really unite. And inside this society, there is no leader between us. All of us, we unite, all of us, we organize all of those conversations and all of those discussions and all of those conferences, and there is no leader between us. And I think really it's something great, and it's proven for all people that we could really unite. I think the creative society is the best improvement, and it is the best proving that all of people could unite. Yeah.
Thank you so much, dear Ravan. Yes, definitely. If we all unite, then everything is going to be very easy and very simple, and we will be able to solve this climate change very easily, because we can unite all human potential, all scientific potential, and we can actually, make this world great. I think it's the world we all of us were dreaming of. I remember when I was a child, I was imagining this kind of world, and I was falling asleep and I was dreaming about this world. So I think all of us have this idea in their head from the early childhood. So dear viewers, thank you so much. Also, dear guests, thank you very much. And we think that our discussion is slowly coming to an end. And I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you, to all speakers, for today's discussion, and thank you for sharing your understandings and your thoughts about the conference, about creative society. And also, we would like to hear from you, dear viewers. If you have any questions, please write us at info@creativesociety.com. Also, if you would like to record your understanding or your impressions or any questions, you can also send it to the email info@creativesociety.com. And we will insert your video question into the next international discussion and discuss these topics with our distinguished guests. So please also help us share this conference, this truth. It is so vital to, that everybody right now knows about this conference, because like many times before it was said also today, it was done by volunteers. Nobody paid us for it. All the scientists, these honest scientists, all people, they, got together and they prepared this information for 4 months. They were gathering this information and they were showing the truth. And, this truth might be harsh. It might be hard to look at, but we at least know what is happening with our world. And we could hear this from witnesses. So we know that it's actually real people like us telling us this truth. So please help us spread this information on social media, share it with your friends, your colleagues, your family, with everyone. Because right now it is very vital that everybody knows about it. Thank you so much, and I pass the word to Anna.
Спасибо большое, Габика. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, Gabika. Thank you, dear friends, Ravan and Aizan. It was a great conversation with great people. And of course, I'd like to remind everyone that, as Gabika had said, how important it is to share this information, to talk to each other, ask questions. We're really anxiously awaiting your impressions. And also, if this is the first time that you've heard about the conference that happened on December 4th, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth. Also, please just make sure you watch it. If you are a scientist or an expert who also has something to say and wants to share the truth, please come and join the international discussions. We're holding them every day in different languages, in different corners of the world. And this is truly the time of the truth, because the truth has already been heard, and all of us that know the truth, we are the people who need to carry it on, people who've understood this responsibility that we have to ourselves and to our society. These are the brave and courageous people, and as Gabika said, maybe it's scary to see this truth that's going on, but we owe it to the world to carry this truth, because in addition to all the crises that we're facing, we have the answer. We have the way out. The people themselves have found the answer. Now all we have to do is unite and together become a bigger solution to what is coming up for all of us, and in order to develop and to continue to live in a humane society, in the world that Gabika has dreamt of, in the world that I've dreamt of, and all of us have dreamt of. And the reality is, this society is called creative society, society where each of us is a creator, which all of us create and share. And let's all share the truth today, so that tomorrow we can create more and more opportunities for us, for our children, for our true future. Thank you so much to all the guests and viewers and designers and our technical support and the translators who are interpreting these discussions. Please join the project Creative Society, share your impressions, and let us be those heroes of today that are carrying the truth and are not afraid of anything, because the one who has the truth will definitely win. Thank you very much.